Yeah, we are Renat Rainsva talking to the very angry man on the couch that is America.
By the way, what a great scene. She's like, I need you to pretend I'm your wife.
Yeah. And he's like, you fat ass. You want me to pretend you got my wife's fat ass?
Yes, I want you to pretend my ass is so fat. You'll be like, oh my God, she's right here in the room with me now.
Yeah. I put 2 big pillows in the bottom of my pants to mimic the fatness of the ass.
Yeah. I brought the butt pad you bought from last session. I know we talked about how weird that was, but I'm okay with it now that I realize it's for your mental health.
Is this a big enough ass, or do we need to go up a size?
Yeah. Do you want to return this one on Amazon Prime and get a big size up so I can have a huge ass like your ex-wife? she's like, listen, I really just want to help you. You're a poor therapist, a man in need of therapy. So I'm trying to create a realistic situation for you to believe the fantasy.
Yeah, I just want to design homes for people with very large asses where it's difficult for them to maneuver certain corners, and it'll be easier for them.
I just want to live in a world where people's asses are all fat. We all just have huge, caked up fat asses. We're all walking around donking each other, bumping into. And she's like, okay, I hear you. Stay with that.
When did the fat asses start?
Yeah. Well, it was when I started watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I noticed that, I found myself wildly, sort of strangely attracted to the show. And I was like, I don't even like this show. I don't even know why the hell am I even watching this show? I don't care about Kim. I don't care about Courtney. And then all of a sudden you're hooked, She's like, oh, very interesting. So this was Kardashian related. You're not the first one. Don't worry. Yeah, no, that was very funny. The second time he mentioned it, and then the third time he mentioned it, I was like, oh my God, this is a specific memory he's having with his wife.
That's where I'm so that because this 19-year-old is not credited with writing the script, and I'm curious, is that a thing he brought to this movie, or did the writer come up with that? Or if I could interview the writer or the director, that's not a question they probably ever want to be asked. That's the first one I'm asking.
Yeah, that's the first one I would ask too.
Kane Parsons is like, he's thinking about what it was like in the 90s, what people were interested in, what they were attracted to. And he's like, in the 90s, I think one of the scariest things to a guy would be a fat ass. They were really into thin asses back then.
That's true. Yeah. The worst thing you could call a woman in the 1990s was somebody with a fat ass. That'd be like saying like you need to go on a diet. Yeah, pretty much.
That really didn't become popular until 2007 or something like whenever.
The year I was born, actually. Yeah.
He's got his first meeting with A24. They're like, we love your YouTube stuff. We think you got all these great ideas. We would love to expand this into a feature. We want you at the helm. Tell us what you're thinking. Tell us some of the ideas about, like, what are you trying to say with this movie? And he's like, well, let's talk about asses and how big they are for a minute.
Yeah. Listen, that's a great question. I'll touch on that in a second, but where I would like to start with this is big, huge asses. Was that a thing in the 90s? And they're like, no, actually, no. I mean, yeah, I remember it being everybody had to be thin. I remember heroin chic was sort of.
Yeah. Kane Parsons is like, oh my God, are you serious? He loves big asses. This is like the scariest thing in the world to him.
He's like, you're telling me there was a time when that was sort of criminalized? They're like, well, it wasn't criminalized, but it was sort of, it was frowned upon. You were seen as somebody with a bad character if you had a big ass. And his mind is blown. He's like, what?
Yeah. What hellscape was this 90s? My God. Yeah.
You're telling me this was a good time you'd like to return to? I mean, not literally, no, but yeah, I mean, there were some good tenets of it. And he's like, well, not the asses. Yeah, I mean, well, obviously not the ass. Nobody knew what they wanted in the 90s. They were just inventing. They were sort of like, maybe this will be the thing in the future that will, so it's sort of like the big ass thing sort of, it's something, it's a good thing. And they started getting in a fight. He's like, well, fuck your 90s and fuck your skinny, no ass having 90s times. We're gonna bring 90s up to the 20. We're gonna bring the 1990s into the 2020s, and everybody has a big ass in this.
Then that's when the suit is sort of like, well, Kane, a lot of stuff to work with here. I think we're going to hire a writer to work with you on this one.
He's like, okay, fine. Yeah, I mean, that's okay. But as long as I get a line in there or two, or maybe even 5 or 6 about sort of like a big ass and the emphasis that they did exist in the 90s. You know, I want representation for the big assed people of the 90s.
Kane, we love your notes on the first draft from the writer. We don't necessarily think we need, what was the number? We don't think we need 175 references to big asses. There's only about 300 lines in the movie. Seems a little excessive to us.
Yeah, Kane, so listen, we did want to have Emily Ratajkowski to be the Renata Reinsva character because she does have a slightly bigger ass, but unfortunately, we did have to go with who we had on hand. And, you know, you shouldn't let the ass part define the actor. You know, they're performers. You know, they're not held back by their physical limitations. You know, Kane, maybe you just keep that in mind. You know, it might not be the biggest asses in this movie, but we'll reference it at least, you know, so it'll be there spiritually.
Yeah, Kane, I did get your DM last night saying you think that chick from Uncut Gems should play the therapist. We think it's an interesting idea. I don't know that it fits. I don't know that that's the energy exactly that our writer is bringing to the role.
Yeah, we don't. We're not really sure about your casting choices here. We do want to have Mikey Madison be in the movie, but we just don't know if she would play the, you know, I know she's good. I know she's great, but
yeah,
can we have some flexibility here, Kane? Or
Kane, I did get your Snapchat of Elle Fanning's ass in jeans from that sentimental value. It's an interesting way to go about it. While we're on the topic of sentimental, man, what about Renata Reinsva? She's very good.
Yeah. No, listen, I know you do have an ass collage. I know you have an ass board,
Mood board.
Sort of vision board. Yeah, booty board. Your vision booty board here. But we got to go with what we got. And, you know, the Scandinavians, they're not known for having big asses. You can't hold it against them, you know? It's sort of like the Irish. They don't have a big ass. It's just a cultural thing, you know? We gotta let it go.
In fact, the line might hit a little harder if he's talking to a woman who doesn't have one, right? He's like,
right.
Yeah, because then you can picture it. Your mind's doing some work too. I guess exactly right, Kane. Yes, your mind's doing some work.
So like, yeah, exactly. Your mind's doing all the work, Kane, and that makes the viewer and the filmmaker. That makes things sort of click on a higher level. Yeah. Kane's like, oh, I like that.
To listen to the rest of this episode of the Y2K Show, please become a premium subscriber at y2kshow.substack.com. For just $5 a month or $30 a year, you can get access to every single episode that we have ever recorded, including bonus episodes, and you can listen to the rest of the one you already started. So head on over to y2kshow.substack.com, become a premium subscriber today, and thank you for your support. You are now cool.